Good afternoon. My name is John Lepley and I'm a member of the United Steelworkers. I want to spend this segment of the training talking with you about handling grievances. Every couple of years, unions sit down with their employers and negotiate a set of rules and expectations for the workplace, which is known as a contract. Contracts, however, just don't enforce themselves. This is where the union stewards come in. You educate your members about the contract, and if a violation occurs, the union can file a grievance to protest an action by management and demand that management fix the problem at hand. This is what distinguishes union workers from non-union workers. Non-union workers can complain about things to their employers, but they're not always protected, and the employer doesn't even have to listen to them. Union workers with a grievance procedure, on the other hand, have a voice in their workplace. The boss must hear them out, and if the employer has done something wrong, which I'll speak more about in a minute, the employer has the obligation to reach some kind of agreement with the union about how to fix the problem. The first step is to review the grievance procedure in your contract. Generally, it will be in an article titled Grievance and Arbitration Procedure, or it might be in a Management Rights Clause. This will tell you the appropriate steps to take. It may be that the first step is a discussion between the person who wants to file a grievance and a frontline supervisor, or it might require the union to present a written grievance to the Human Resources Department. Not everything is a grievance, however. There are generally 5 types of violations that can serve as grounds for a grievance. The first is a violation of the contract. Now, clear contract violations are easy to prove. For example, perhaps management did not follow the procedure for assigning overtime and bypassed the person whom it should have been offered to first. Grievances that involve interpretation of the contract, however, can be a little more difficult. In these instances, the steward should conduct a thorough review of the contract to determine if an issue a member has brought to you has merit. The second type of violation that can be grounds for a grievance is a violation of the law. Most actions by management which violate a law can be the basis of a grievance. Of course, it depends on the situation, but laws like the Occupational Safety and Health Act or the Family and Medical Leave Act are designed to protect workers, so any violation of these laws will violate some part of the contract. The third type of violation is unfair treatment. Unfair treatment by the company is usually covered in the contract, although once again the language or section may be very general in its language. Generally, these clauses are concerned with intimidation, working conditions, or disciplinary action. The fourth type of violation is when management violates one of its own responsibilities. Employers have an obligation to provide safe and healthy working areas. And so health and safety issues and working conditions are areas where problems usually occur and over which grievances are often filed, and we charge management with a violation of its own responsibility. For example, a broken window or a leaking roof which exposes a worker to unsuitable weather could be the basis of a grievance charging management with a violation of its responsibilities. The last type of violation is past practice. No contract describes every practice at work. In general, past practices are unwritten customs that are not included in the contract. To be binding, though, a past practice must be recurring. It must deal with the same type of situation and must be accepted by both parties either explicitly, which means it was accepted verbally or in writing, or it was accepted implicitly, which means neither side has ever objected to that kind of practice. Also, the practice must have existed over several contract periods and be openly accepted and not challenged as improper. So when you're acting as a steward, there are going to be times when members come to you with issues that you know right off the bat you will not be able to file a grievance on. There's just no violation at all. Sometimes people like to think of this as a grievance, or is it just a gripe? It's important, though, to keep in mind your role as a steward. You're there not just to file grievances, you're there to listen to your members, to talk with them. So even if they come to you with an issue that cannot have a grievance filed under it, you want to listen to it and see if there are ways that you can deal with that issue outside of the grievance procedure. You might consider taking a journal of these, making a note of them, and it can be something that you deal with at a future negotiations. You also want to make this an educational moment. Take that person aside, Ask them to show you where in the contract is this a violation. How can I file a grievance under this? This is an opportunity for you to educate them about the contract. You might learn a thing or two yourself.